So which NMOS specifications does Easy-NMOS currently support?
Okay, so we've tried to make the containers themselves encompass as many of the NMOS specifications as we possibly can, but we would rather get something out the door, even though it's not technically 100% complete yet. But what you can see here is we've put a table together explaining what the Easy-NMOS actually supports, and it supports most of the specifications. You know, if you look at NMOS discovery and registration, ISO 4, you can see that it supports it across the board, both in the registry controller and the virtual node. In exactly the same way, ISO 5 is fully supported, so it can be used for formal connection management between senders and receivers. And as we get into the later specifications, then we haven't quite polished everything off. So ISO 7, it's obviously not needed in the NMOS registry, so it's not applicable, but we have the ability to do the connection in the NMOS controller, and obviously the NMOS virtual node fully supports ISO 7. What we can't do is actually initiate an event, but you've got everything you need to be able to see the ISO 7 specification functioning. Alongside that, we've got NMOS ISO 8, which is the audio channel mapping or the audio channel shuffling. Again, that's not relevant to the NMOS registry. We have a complete implementation of NMOS ISO 8 in the virtual node, so you can actually go and see all of this, but as of yet, we haven't quite managed to build that implementation into the NMOS controller, the JavaScript NMOS controller, and we're working on that now. We're hoping to close that gap pretty soon. Obviously, you can't do any of this without the NMOS system API or the system resource API, and that is fully functional within the registry, and obviously the virtual node uses that, and the NMOS controller it's kind of irrelevant to the NMOS controller. It's more about distributing resources such as PTP domain number, for example. Alongside that, we have the best practices or the BCPs. So obviously the implementation supports NMOS grouping. And the other thing is, even though it's not used within the initial implementation of Easy-NMOS, we have fully tested Easy-NMOS with NMOS API security. So you can take the same implementation and with a little twist, actually run it using HTTPS or encrypted rather than just the more traditional HTTP approach. And this is almost a precursor for building more security into the NMOS APIs. Now that's the formal NMOS specifications. Alongside that, you do have some additional things thrown into the mix. Obviously, ISO 5, ISO 7 can or has the ability to support MQTT message broking. So what we've done is we've built an embedded MQTT broker into the solution, and obviously that is now functional in the registry container. And if you have a relevant tool or control layer, then obviously you can take advantage of that with ISO 7. And we're looking to expand the virtual node implementation shortly again to actually allow you to be able to simulate that. So that's coming as well. And then finally, we have a complete implementation of the AMWA NMOS testing suite as well. So you can test and validate all of these things within the environment. So yes, there's a couple of things coming along. We're hoping to close those gaps shortly, but you should have pretty much a very good solid base implementation of all of the NMOS specifications to at least jump into this world and get going.